Hey guys, Merry Meet. This is Anastasia Autumnfire, and these are the two crafts that I was speaking about in my previous video, my Blackbird crafts. So I'm going to just take time to kind of explain them out. In the previous video, I talked about the inspiration behind them and kind of the intent within them and rambled on, I'm sure. But here I just wanted to kind of dissect how I did this and what's all in here. So I'm going to start with the Earth and Witchy Orb. For those of you that are on my Facebook or have seen previous videos, this is definitely a craft I love doing. I feel very connected to it. It is very much something that, as a craft, it means a lot to me. And this one especially just sang to me. I absolutely love it. So what I did was I began with something I haven't tried on my Earth and Witchy Orbs before. Sorry about that. I used an adhesive glue spray and sprayed the ball all over and then glittered it up with black, purple, and blue glitter. The reasoning for this is it kind of gives that iridescence of a blackbird's wing. In one of the sites that I read about the spiritual symbolism of a blackbird, it mentioned that the different colors on the wing and how it shows and shines actually is a telltale sign of its magical abilities. So I really liked that. I don't necessarily know if it was on one website, so I didn't know if others kind of thought that as well, but for me it resonated, so I wanted to include that here. After I did that, let's see if I can get a better angle. All right there, you can kind of see. In here I have a sachet bag. I chose black for protection and banishing, since the idea of this orb is for letting go. And inside I have a 13 herb blend. It has all sorts of different herbs. I've got things from white rose petals to lavender, nettles, or nettle, not nettles, sorry. I have a oil that I call a Be at Peace, which is supposed to be for soothing a grieving heart, which aids in letting go. All sorts of good stuff. Here is what the herbal blend looks like by itself. I kept a decent chunk. I made a decent chunk, I should say, because I absolutely love the smell. It's just amazing. The lavender, I put some mint in there, and the Be at Peace oil that I've made is very much heavy in violet. So those three scents together really are working nicely and blending well, so I just love it. And those are the three major notes that you get in this. So those are the herb components. Then in the sachet I also have 4 different stones. Each of the stones, or actually I apologize, 5 stones. 4 of the stones correlate with the earth, air, fire, and water elements. And then I have a lodestone in there as well, which I think speaks to spirit, as it brings the magic into the craft. So we have the lodestone to symbolize the spirit. Then I have a smoky quartz for earth. This is to help let go of past patterns and belief systems that are holding you back. Also, it helps release stale and blocked energy. It's a great cleansing stone. Then I have citrine for air. I know some reference guides lend citrine to fire because it's a solar rock or stone or crystal or however you look at it. For me, it's about air. I don't know why it's always jived that way in my head. It's always resonated that way. So it's a personal preference. It's a personal practice. Certainly by no means am I saying that's the correct correspondence. It could very well just be a personal correspondence, but since it's my craft and my practice, I'm going that way. And the citrine is to help develop positive attitudes, promotes enjoyment of new things. It also aids with a go with the flow type of attitude and to release any unhappiness, which again is kind of the point of this. Then for fire, I have carnelian. I chose carnelian because I think it's a great protection stone. It gives a peace and a healing, but it also has amazing amounts of courage and concentration in it. I oftentimes refer to it as kind of my warrior rock. I don't know if I've seen a few references refer to it as having a warrior spirit or essence to it. I don't know if other people find that in their practice as well, but for me, I totally do. And then for water, I have aquamarine, and this is to help let go and move past anger, fear, old wounds, emotional patterns. It helps to detach and clear your mind, and again, kind of provides that clarity in your mind. So I definitely thought that jived with what I was trying to do. And all of that was information I got from energymuse.com. So yeah, so that is what's in the sachet bag. Then what we have here, I'm going to kind of flip this around real quick. Here we have a spell scroll, and that is actually what I did was I wrote the spell in the witch's alphabet because, as you know, I love the witch's alphabet. That's what I do. And I wrote it on a sheet of spell paper that my friend Pretty Alice Moon had gifted me during our Samhain exchange. And she told me that it was made with cinnamon to help kind of give it that amped up protection, which I definitely want to be a part of this, because as you're letting things go, you want to make sure only good things can touch you when you're releasing. You don't want to release the good things, you want to release the bad. And while you're releasing the bad, you don't want more bad to come your way. So I liked the idea of using that protection-based spell paper. And then, of course, I bound it 3 times round and with a triple knot with a black cord. So after I was done with the core of the spell, it was time to pay attention yet again to the outside of the spell. What I did was I took black ribbon, again for protection, banishing, just that letting go of the old. And I wove it, I wrote a spell on it. Not necessarily a spell, it was more of an intent. Like, here's the point of this. This is what I want this to do. This is who I want it to work for. That type of feel. And I wrote that in silver. For me, silver very much relates to the goddess, and that is definitely the energy that I'm using here. So there's an example of how the words would look. I made sure I can see a few places where the ribbon kind of went on to the other side, but I tried to keep the words facing the inside of the orb, simply because that is where the core, that is where the energy is, that is where I want these words to continually charge the energy at the core of this orb, so to speak. So then I just wove it in to the orb itself and tied it up at the top, made a little loop so it can hang from a ceiling, hang on the wall, wherever you want it, or it can just sit. The top here, I used a black feather. For me, I wanted a blackbird feather, obviously, but considering I came up with this idea yesterday and I needed it for today, I had to make do with what I had, and what I had were 3 black feathers that I bought at Michael's. So it isn't exactly what I would like. I love having my correspondences just be spot on. If I'm making something with the energies of the Blackbird, I like to use, and I'm using a feather, I would love to have a Blackbird feather. If I don't, the intent is still there, the meaning is still there, its purpose is still the same, to connect to that animal. Then I have this little amulet. It's I'm gonna probably pronounce this incorrectly, I apologize. Chisekle weave. I am so sorry. I feel like that is horribly wrong. I love the symbol. I've seen it. I've used it. I just am not 100% sure how to pronounce things properly. It's a Celtic symbol. It can be used for the creation of magic or for protection in the 3 realms: sun, sea, and sky. The triangle within can also help making choices in the crossroads of life. For me, I've also heard it be referred to as a symbol for the maiden, mother, and the crone. I've always approached it with the past, the present, and the future. Kind of a fate symbol, so to speak. And the triangle in the middle, the crossroads, definitely come into play there for me. So I've always loved that symbol. Anytime I'm dealing with a choice to be made or a situation in my life, that is a symbol that I will use. And then here I used 3 chunks of amethyst. 3 again for maiden, mother, crone. Amethyst is a huge stone for connecting to the goddess and the divine. It's good for protection. It's good for spirituality, and it also is a very loving stone, I find. So I wanted to use that as well, because I do, although this is something that's, you know, you're banishing the bad, you're letting go of things, it's kind of a just an acceptance of loss, and that can be a destructive path at times. I'm hoping that this will help kind of calm and soothe that transition of letting go, if that makes sense. So that is my Earthen Witchy Orb for the Blackbird. Next, I have the candle. Again, many of you have probably seen candles I've made before. This is a drip candle. I've seen it made by many other people. I in no way am I saying this isn't an original concept. The Earthen Witchy Orb I haven't seen before. Doesn't necessarily mean it doesn't exist, but I know drip candles exist, and actually, I think I've said this in past videos as well, but Jory Morris does amazing drip candles, and she definitely inspired me to work with candles in this way. So yeah, so here it is. I started with a black candle, and what I did was I actually took the lyrics to the Beatles' Blackbird. I just thought they were so perfect. They symbolized exactly what I wanted to do with this set. It's all about letting go and embracing your new life. It's about taking the old hurts and the old pain and letting it go so that you can fly and be your absolute top potential. And that's exactly what I wanted, to kind of that coming into your own feel. So I took the song and just wrote it into the candle, inscribed it, and then I dressed the candle with my Be at Peace oil that I've made. And then I rolled it again with blue and purple glitter to get that iridescent Blackbird wing look. And then what I did was I took more of that herbal blend and rolled it around the sides. I tried to keep it low because the last time I made a candle, or I shouldn't say the last time, I've been getting better. The first few candles I've tried doing like this, I put a little too much herbs on the top, and it's like, yeah, it almost started a fire. Oh, good to know. So I'm learning my lesson slowly but surely. But I used 2 spell candles. One obviously purple, the other blue. Those are the types of candles I'm talking about. And I inscribed on them additional intents. One was the blue, I believe I put to find, to find what it is that we're looking for lack of a better phrase, to be able to ascend and look and see what it is we're supposed to be doing, who we're supposed to be surrounding ourselves with, and what our purpose kind of is in a way. And not to be blind to that. Instead, to give us that focus, give us that clarity. Let things that don't serve us fall to the wayside. Not because they're not worthy, but simply they don't serve us. That's not the point, if that makes sense. And then the purple one, I wrote, I believe it was an idea of letting go and letting old wounds heal, letting the hurt go, not forgetting the lessons that are to be learned from the loss and the grief and the pain, but instead to embrace the negativity in a way and transmute it into positivity. So I went around and let that kind of drip until the candles burnt down. And then at the top, I used 3 stone chips. Here I used a moonstone. Moonstone connects with the full moon, which tonight is. It's very much a stone for intuition, goddess work. Definitely deals with mysteries and kind of the unknown. This I used was magnesite, I believe. Oh my goodness, I do not have my notes in front of me. I apologize. But this one was about finding, kind of looking for the higher energy, looking for that higher ground, being able to kind of move past the mundane and find what else there is, so to speak. And that's going to bug me about the name now that I'm blanking. Magnesite. Yes, that's exactly what it says. It also is a very healing stone. I've used it a lot for the healing aspects, not so much in the higher sensibility type of a deal. And then the last one, of course, is, again, an amethyst. Again, just wanting that soft but divine love, that spiritual connection, that connection to the divine, not just the goddess, but to spirits, elementals, the god, whatever divinity might be for you. That kind of feel, that connection to spirit. So that is the Blackbird candle. And together, those are my Blackbird crafts. And that plus the incense blend that I still have will be kind of my offering, so to speak, for this wolf moon. So I just wanted to share that. Again, kind of a more lengthy process, but I really felt connected to these and I really wanted to share them with everyone. So I hope you enjoyed it. Please feel free to like, subscribe, comment, all that fun stuff, and I'll see you next time. Blessed be, guys. Bye.